Las Vegas was alive on the night of September 7th, 1996. The Strip glittered under the desert sky, and crowds were swarming into the MGM Grand Garden Arena for a heavyweight title fight. Mike Tyson versus Bruce Seldon. Among the thousands in attendance was Tupac Shakur, hip-hop's most electric star, and the CEO of Death Row Records, Marion Suge Knight. They had front-row seats, luxury cars waiting outside, and a small entourage of bodyguards and friends trailing close behind. At 25, Tupac was riding a meteoric wave of fame, power, and controversy. Just weeks earlier, he had released the album All Eyes on Me, and the single Hit 'Em Up was fueling one of the most vicious feuds in music history, the East Coast versus West Coast rivalry. His affiliation with Death Row Records placed him squarely in the line of fire in a bitter war with Bad Boy Records, the Notorious B.I.G., and other East Coast artists. But in that moment, Tupac wasn't thinking about beefs or body counts. He was celebrating. As he and Suge exited the casino floor after the fight, someone pointed out a face in the crowd. Orlando Baby Lane Anderson, a known member of the South Side Compton Crips. Earlier that year, Anderson had been accused of stealing a Death Row chain off a member of Tupac's entourage in a Foot Locker altercation. That unfinished business came to a boiling point instantly. Surveillance footage from the MGM Grand captures the chaos. Tupac rushes Anderson, throwing the first punch. The fight lasts only seconds, but it's brutal. Multiple members of Tupac's crew join in, kicking and stomping Anderson until security pulls them apart. The video would later become a key piece of evidence, not for the fight itself, but for what it set in motion just hours later. After the melee, Anderson slipped away, battered and humiliated. Tupac returned to his hotel to change clothes. He put on a green satin shirt, gold jewelry, and a matching bandana. Around 10:30 p.m., he and Suge climbed into a black BMW 750 IL, top down, music blasting. They were headed to Club 662, a Death Row nightclub where Tupac was expected to perform. The route to the club should have been short, but something else was unfolding in the background. According to later testimony and a string of interviews, Dwayne Keith D. Davis, Anderson's uncle and a senior figure in the South Side Compton Crips, was in Las Vegas that night too. Word of the beating at the MGM spread quickly, and Keith D. later admitted in his memoir and interviews that revenge was discussed almost immediately. A white Cadillac was soon rolling through the Vegas streets. Inside were 4 men, Keith D., Orlando Anderson, and 2 other gang members. One of them had a gun, a Glock .40 caliber pistol. According to Keith D., the group was hunting for Tupac and Suge. Just after 11:10 p.m., the BMW carrying Tupac and Suge stopped at a red light at the intersection of Flamingo Road and Koval Lane, just off the Strip. Police body cam footage and witness statements later reconstructed the chilling moment. A vehicle pulled up on the passenger side of the BMW. A man leaned out from the back window of the white Cadillac. Gunshots erupted. 13 rounds in total. 4 of them hit Tupac. 2 in the chest, 1 in the arm, 1 in the thigh. A bullet pierced his right lung. Suge Knight was grazed by shrapnel in the head, but managed to drive off, with a bleeding Tupac beside him. He made a sharp U-turn and tried to reach a nearby hospital. Sirens howled. Chaos rippled down the Strip. Police quickly arrived on the scene, cordoning off the area, but the white Cadillac had vanished into the night. Tupac was rushed to the University Medical Center of Southern Nevada, where he underwent surgery. He was heavily sedated and placed on a respirator. For 6 days, he clung to life while fans and media gathered outside the hospital, desperate for updates. Rumors spread. Some said he was recovering. Others whispered he died already. Inside the hospital, Tupac's mother, Afeni Shakur, maintained a strong presence, but the prognosis was grim. On September 13, 1996, 6 days after the shooting, Tupac Shakur died from internal bleeding and cardiac arrest. He was 25 years old. His death sent shockwaves through the music world. Vigils popped up across the country. Conspiracy theories immediately surfaced. Some insisted he faked his death. Others blamed rival rappers, corrupt police, or even the government. The investigation into his murder seemed promising at first, but it stalled. There were no arrests. Witnesses went silent. The streets whispered names, but the case went cold. As time passed, Tupac's legacy only grew. His music continued to top charts. Posthumous albums were released. And yet, the mystery surrounding that night in Las Vegas haunted fans, journalists, and investigators alike. The final hours of Tupac's life, from a boxing match celebration to a sudden ambush, became one of the most iconic and tragic chapters in hip-hop history. What should have been a night of victory ended in bloodshed, and the world was left with questions that would remain unanswered for almost 3 decades.